It's preparing the live stream now.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why the music tak dengar. Kenapa?
ada?
Okay. Yeah. Preparing the live stream now.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why the music tak dengar. Kenapa?
ada?
Okay. Yeah. Preparing the live stream now.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why the music tak dengar.
ada?
Okay. Yeah. Preparing the live stream now.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why the music tak dengar.
ada?
Okay. Yeah. Preparing the live stream now.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why the Hi, hello, and welcome everyone. My name is Derek, and I'm so glad that everyone can join us. We have so many people joining us today for our Sustainable and Social Marketing Guest Lecture Series number 2. And we are also, what do you call this, transmitting live on Facebook as well. And I'm very glad that everyone is here. I'm very glad that everyone could take up some of your time to be here with us. Uh, just to let you guys know that this is a guest lecture series that is organized by the Sunway University Marketing Society. And this is part of the guest lecture subject on sustainable and social marketing, which is a subject in the 3rd year for our BSc honors in marketing in Sunway University Business School. And my name is Derek, and I'm glad to see everyone here. Okay, so without further ado, let me introduce you our guest, our very special guest today. I'm so happy to have her with us, Miss Nisha Ayub. Okay, Miss Nisha is the co-founder of Seed Malaysia and Justice for Sisters campaign, which is the first ever trans-led organization that champions the rights of transgender community in Malaysia. She successfully managed to open the first ever shelter for transgender women named T Home. Now, she has been advocating for the rights of the transgender community here in Malaysia for the past 12 years. And I'm happy to say that I've known her for 10 of those 12 years, I think so. Yeah, Nisha, you can correct me after that. And she has been representing the community in local, regional, and international as a spokesperson and media interviews, research, conferences, and dialogues. She's done it all, okay? She's done it all. She has received numerous awards. She's a very celebrated human being from regional, international places such as the Asia LGBT Milestone Awards, ALMA in Bangkok 2015, the prestigious Alison de Forges, I think I'm saying it wrong, Award for Extraordinary Activism by Human Rights Watch in 2015, and the International Women of Courage Award uh, 2016 from the US Secretary of State, John Kerry, right? In 2016, San Diego Mayor also declared April 5th to be Nisha Day Ayub. So she has a public holiday to her name in San Diego. She has also been invited as one of the 8 activists to be in a meeting with former President Barack Obama in December 2015. And then in 2018, a Malaysian marine ecologist discovered a new genus of sea slugs and named one of the species after her. And I'm not going to even pronounce the name because it's so scientific. While in 2019, she was given the recognition by Marie Claire as their amazing 25 women and as the only Malaysian on the BBC 100 Women of 2019 of the most influential women in the world. So you can imagine we have a superstar in our midst today, okay? The other thing I want to tell you guys is that Nisha herself has a Wikipedia page, okay? How many people you know that has a Wikipedia page? Even I don't have a Wikipedia page, okay? So before we begin, I would just like to have some housekeeping rules here. We aspire for this forum for the next 1 hour to be a safe space, and we want to create a positive and safe space. That's why our admins have kept everybody muted, and you can chat using the chat box, but any questions that you would like to tell us, the admin is going to post up a link right now on the Google Sheet, and then these questions are going to be moderated, and I will ask the questions on behalf of everybody so that we respect everybody's space. Okay, so thank you everyone for being here. I think that's enough from me. I think they want to hear from you, Nisha. So Nisha, the floor is yours.
Hi, Derek, and hi, everyone. And thank you so much, Derek, for that long introduction. But first of all, I want to say thank you so much to yourself, Derek, and the team in Sunway University and College for actually inviting me and giving me this space, this platform to actually talk about the work that I've been doing here in Malaysia. I mean, it's usually when it comes to the issue of certain topic or certain minorities, we are seldom being given an opportunity such as this. So thank you so much again, Derek and Sunway. Yeah, Sunway University and College. Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm going to start my presentation right away. So I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, just hang on. Give me a second. Okay, is it checked?
Yes, yes, we can see it.
Okay, awesome. Good. So, just wait. Okay, I was kind of worried, you know, if things were to hang and it's going to rain over here, so I was kind of worried. But anyway, everything is done and everything is settled. So let me start with my presentation. Yeah, and I hope I'm not going to bore everyone because I'm going to roll back in my own life experience, in my own journey, how a transgender person in Malaysia is so passionate about doing um, advocacy, so passionate in towards charity, you know, and going into uh, non-government organization and so on. Yeah, how did I start? And everyone assumed that we are all born to become an activist or an advocate and so on. But trust me, being who I am right now is not something that I dreamt of when I was a child. Yeah, I always wanted to be a singer, which I can't sing, by the way. So yeah, let me go back to my slide. Um, Let me bring you back to my own personal life history. Yeah. And before I start, let me talk a bit about being a transgender person myself. And people always say that being a transgender person is something that is being taught to us, you know, and there's always this argument of, you know, whether it is nurture or nature, right? But this is based on my personal experience, and I totally 100% believe that me being who I am right now is not nurture, it's nature. Yeah. So this is me when I was a little um, child. Yeah. It's around 5, 6 years old. Um, and this is me at the same age with my glamorous shawl, yeah, trying to express my identity since I was in such young age, right? When I was just like 5 to 6 years old, right? But at the beginning, people always assume that this is just a phase, yeah. So, so I think yes, I'm gonna go to the next slide right now, and yes, and now this is me when I was just standard three, like standard three, and I was such in a urge, you know, I can't wait to actually express myself. That when every boys wanted to become Batman, Superman, or whatever man, I wanted to become ballerina in such young age. And I went on stage. I went on stage and being who I am, and you can say I was so happy. I was, you know, in in in, in bursts of happiness, you know, being able to actually be who I am on stage, even though there are some people laughing behind there and so on, which I don't care. And this is me in my teens. Yeah, I look so slim back then compared to now. However, yeah, so what I'm trying to say here is that, you know, firstly, uh, I need to let people out there to realize that being a transgender person is not something that we plan or or something that we dream of. It's just something that is been that we are born in within our mind. Yeah, and it's not a choice that I can choose to be a trans person, right? It's just this is the way who I am, and nothing can change a transgender person identity. Yeah. So we all my I wouldn't say normal, yeah, but I would say with my life growing up as being a, from a child to a kid to a teenager and reaching out to my adulthood, I was always certain of my identity. I was always comfortable with who I am, even with any kind of rejection out there, you know. However, sadly, because of the system we have here in Malaysia, I'm also obliged to the Sharia law. Therefore, I was being arrested. Yeah, and for everyone's information, the situation of transgender people in Malaysia, specifically for the Muslim trans community, uh, we are actually, you know, we can be arrested for just being who we are. Yeah, for just being who we are, for dressing as who we are, for expressing as we are, not for raping, not for snatching, not for killing, but just because of our identity and gender, sorry, our gender identity and expression. Yeah. So, a quick one. I was arrested when I was just 21 years old, and in that young age, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people here are young. Yeah, I can see some of, yeah, most of you guys are young. At that young age of 21 years old, I have the experience being imprisoned. Yeah, and you guys can, as what Derek mentioned earlier, if you guys want to know more, please do Google me up. There's a lot of story of my experience in prison, and trust me, it's not something that I can ever forget. Yeah, I'm already in my 40s. Yeah, still young, but the experience and the pain that I went through there is something that I can never forget. Yeah. However, when I came up from prison, it did teach me a lot of things. It did make me think from a very different way. Yeah. Through all those obstacles, through all the depression that I went through, to the thought of actually killing myself. You know, I wanted to end my life because I just didn't like the world, and all those things, right? To all those situations that I face, there is also a light out of there. Yeah, I started to see things differently when I was imprisoned, where I met with other people, I met with other trans community, and they share me their stories and their experiences. And when I was out of prison, I was basically involved in nightlife, where I start to understand more about other people's life and walks of life, right? So that at that moment, when I was still in Malacca, this is some of my pictures when I was, you know, starting in my activism at the same time, you know, doing charity shows, fundraising, and people assume that I started from an organization in Kuala Lumpur, but no, I actually started volunteering for this sweet, lovely people, right, in Malacca, and they are called Touch Alive. Yeah, they were introduced to me by a very dear, I call her mommy, by the way. Her name is Sally. Uh, she introduced me to them and told me, you know, let's be a part of the society. And I was a bit nervous because I was scared that, you know, how would these people actually, you know, accept me? How would they actually work with me? But I was actually surprised when I went there. It was basically a Buddhist-based organization group, sorry, Buddhist-based group, and they were actually giving free food to the anyone out there, but it's all vegetarians. So I volunteered. I helped to do some things and this and that. And I talked to people, and the more I talked to them, the more I felt so comfortable. And at the same time, those lovely people in Touch Alive. I can't remember her name, but Mavis, yes, her name is Mavis, yeah. Uh, she was introducing myself and my Sally, right, to everyone, and we were so happy. I was feeling so accepted, but at the same time, I learned about other people's situation. I learned about the different story about, you know, because we always talk about this, you know, positive stories out there, but we forget about those who have problems, those who suffer, those who are all alone by themselves, and not just the trans community. Yeah, it's in general, including the cisgender community. Yeah, cisgender are basically the term we use for people who are non-transgender. Yeah, I don't use the word transgender and normal people. Then if I use the word normal, then I'm considered abnormal, right? So yes, in 2006, I started to volunteer with Touch Alive. At the same time, I started to volunteer with an organization in Kuala Lumpur called PT Foundation. And when I got involved with PT Foundation, that's where I met a lot of peer support. You know, one of my I would call her as my leader. One of my peer leader, Kak Sulastri Arifin, is the one that actually introduced me to the world of NGO and a lot of things out there, and also to the late Tony Kasim. Yeah, she's one of the amazing woman activists that actually also gave me a lot of platform and introduced me to the world of NGO, right? And from there, we were having a fabulous time, right? We had so many programs, and the amazing part is at that time in PT Foundation, we were being funded by the Ministry of Women, right? Way back then, from 2007 to end of 2013, yeah. And we had a beautiful building where we have programs for the transgender community, we have programs for the female sex workers, we have programs for people living with HIV/AIDS. Yeah, we have the program, and we were able to actually assist and provide support for the community. And it's really amazing, and it has again exposed me to a different situation of other people, where I actually get to know more about people living with HIV/AIDS. I get to know more about drug users. I get to know more about the situation in childcare. And the more I learn, the more passionate, and the more I think things has changed me a lot. Because one thing for sure that made me change the way I view things is that I don't see people as male, female, Chinese, Indian, Bidayu, Kadazan. I don't see them as that. I see them as people. And every people have their journey, their experiences, and every people have their own problems. Yeah. And at the same time, it's not feeling pity about them. It's about having this empathy, at the same time feeling how we can actually help them in any way we can. It doesn't mean when I say help it's all about money. No, you can help in other ways, in other forms, right? In other even by just being a support system, it's also helping them. Yeah. So as I mentioned early on, end of 2013, the fund was being chopped off, and sadly the whole program at that time was called Pusat Bantuan Hikmat Sosial, was then being slashed off, and we were not able to continue. And I think our team, I would say at the time we were being led by our amazing leader, Mitch, yeah, you smart Mitch, that did not want to, what do you call this, leave anyone behind, right? Leave the team behind, leave the community behind. And myself, Mitch, and Sulastri Arifin, we came together and we told ourselves, let's do something about this. And that's where SEED came to the picture. And anyway, SEED stands for Social and Enabling Environment and Development. Yeah, and it's also the first ever trans-led organization in Malaysia. Trans-led means it's been led by trans community, right? And at the beginning, we found this place. Just want to share with you guys. Yeah, we got this place in Jalan Tiong Nam. It's just near to Chao Kate. It is actually in Chao Kate. Yeah, Jalan Tiong Nam. I was shocked, right? Because as you know, that area is, even though it's so-called an old city of Kuala Lumpur, right? However, the price there is expensive, the rental, right? But because this landlord, a Chinese landlord, was so kind to actually let us to use the space, from 4,000, so from 5,000 ringgit rental, he reduced it to 2,200 ringgit. And it was just amazing. And we started with zero, and with continuous support, continuous advocacy, continuous spreading the news about the situation using social media and whatsoever, and also the media at that time. Yeah, So we were able to get support from the general public. Yes, I repeat, from the general public. And we were able to continue the organization till today and hopefully forever. Yeah, we were able to to actually continue the support and whatever that we can do for the community in regards of their gender identity. And one thing that I'm so proud to talk about SEED is that, yes, we are a trans-led organization, but we provide, I'm just going to go through the picture while I speak. Yeah, this is our drop-in center, by the way. Yeah, it's not a office with air cons here and there. We specifically choose this space in Chowkit because of the community, because we want it to be our services to be accessibility towards the community out there. Yeah, so this is the center. And this was also the group from the U.S. Embassy that came to visit and donated food for the community out there. So it's a safe space for the community, and please let you guys know this is just before COVID, yeah. So do not use this against us. This is before COVID, where people can come into the center. The homeless people can come into the center to eat, sleep, and rest. Yeah, the basic needs for the community. We have sessions and trainings at the center, skill buildings for the community, and this again, I repeat, this happened before COVID. Yeah. So we also have info and services with health providers at the drop-in center. But this is something that I want to share with you guys. With the current pandemic that is happening here in Malaysia, right? Which is, I must say, I feel so touched and proud of my team in SEED, because till today, we are still continuing providing services for the people out there. And the amazing part is that, before COVID, we were actually serving 30 to 40 community, whether it's female sex workers or transgender or homeless or drug users, right? But right after the pandemic started, there were cisgender people coming to our center, especially elderly people coming to ask for food. And I think it really broke, Mitch. Mitch may look kind of, tough, but he's soft in his heart. Yeah. So it broke our heart that we really wanted to help them. And we started to do fundraising and so on. I mean, bless those souls that actually came forward to assist us. Till today, we still manage to help those people in Chowkit area. And I repeat, now we are not only concentrating on the specific community, it's the general public. And from 30 to 40 people now, even to today, Mitch just told me that they are serving 250 packs of food to people. 250 packs. Yeah, and these are the girls. Anyway, this is my team. Erina and also Along. Yeah, they are preparing the food. And if you get sponsors food, bless those souls out there that actually contributed to us. And when we had sponsors for groceries, we were able to collect them and give it out to people who are in need. Yeah. And yes, just some pictures of to let you guys see the queue that we had. Yeah. It's a long queue, left and right. Yeah. And this is one of just some pictures to show you guys. Yeah. And it's a mixture. Yeah. This is okay. And I want to say this as well, right? Sometimes I do wonder why people judge people like us so much. People don't even want to get to know us first, but just because of how we are, automatically the judgment starts. Automatically, people start to move away from us, and all those negative perceptions starts, right? But for us, for the community, yeah, we don't choose people. We don't choose, oh, we can only give it to trans sisters in Chowkit. No. In Chowkit now, right, the majority are cisgender people, and sadly, most of them are elderly people, and some with kids that need help. And we never close our door because seed in our tagline is nobody gets left behind. So when you say nobody, it's everybody. So we don't judge people, right? And how nice if world would not judge us too, right? So um, as Derek mentioned, we also managed to open the first ever transgender. At the beginning, it was for elderly home, right? But now, after the pandemic, we have cases of young people coming in to seek support. Yeah, the pandemic has affected a lot of people. The pandemic has affected people from all races, background, and ages. And yes, it has affected the community the same too. Yeah. Um, so this is the tea home, a very quick one. Um, this is some of the residents that were living there, right? And the one thing that I want to say that about the tea home is that if anyone were to visit tea home, they will always say it doesn't look like a home. It doesn't look like a shelter. It looks like somebody staying there. And I say yes. My first intention is not to open just a shelter. I wanted to open a home where I'm so comfortable in it, right? I believe in this mentality. If I can't eat that thing, I should not give it to someone else. If I can't stay at that place, I should not give someone else to stay. So that's the way I think, and it's a beautiful home, and they really take care of the place by themselves. And not just that, yeah, these are some of the lovely girls that come to the home. Again, I repeat, this is before COVID. Kan kena saman pula kita, yeah, just before COVID. So these are some of the activities that we do there, and you can see just like 20 to 30 people at once at a space. Yeah, every month we were sure to have sessions, right, in gatherings, and it's basically a place where they can be themselves, a place where they are accepted, not judged. They are being loved and cared for, and it's a place where they can basically call it home. Yep, and these are some of the residents. Aren't they adorable? Okay. Um, so I'm just going to go because Derek has mentioned earlier on about all those awards, and I'm not trying to boast about my award, but I'm going to tell you why is it important for people out there to actually recognize organization, recognize grassroots organization that does work. This is not about seed here. There's a lot of other organization that does amazing job, but they are always being shunned off. They're always not being mentioned out there. I know some organization that work with animals, that have shelters for animals, and they need support. Yeah. So why is it important, right? Specifically on the issues that I'm dealing with the trans community, because a lot of people, again, when you want to say yes, we are trans-led organization, people just close their door because they are so afraid to be associated with us, to be seen as being a supporter to us. But they forget when you talk about rights, when you talk about age, when you talk about diversity, it should be inclusivity of all people. It should not be diversity based on how you think it is diverse, right? So, yes, I've got the recognition, the award from Human Rights Watch, and also by the U.S. state government, yeah, and I was also involved in a roundtable discussion with President Obama, when he was here in 2016. Yes, and thank God. I mean, thank you so much to the San Diego, right, to the mayor of San Diego for actually proclaiming a day of me in San Diego, which I didn't expect it, but yeah, it was just amazing. And I was also listed as BBC 100 Woman in 2019. Yeah, why did I share all this? It's again, it's not because of me. Recognition is important towards creating awareness. And when a person like me from Malaysia a trans person in Malaysia, is recognized internationally and regionally, automatically it created more awareness for the situation of the transgender community here in Malaysia. That's why I always say, whatever recognition I give, it is for the community, right? And as an advocate, right, as a trans leader myself, I will use this recognition for the betterment of the community and the organization, right? And that's where we also use recognition to also, it creates a trust and credibility from stakeholders, whether it's the funders, whether it's the public, whether it's government or whatever, right? From stakeholders and from the community. When the community feels supported, when they trust you, that's where they will come to you to seek support, right? And it also creates platforms of advocacy as what dear Derek has actually helped us. Thank you so much again, Derek. Yeah, created platform as advocacy to actually raise the issue, and also in a way which is very important for all NGOs in Malaysia, which is fundraising. Yeah. And also it opened doors, from funding and support from whether it's local, regional, or international, right? And the most importantly, it's a source of empowering towards the community, or maybe from some groups towards their targeted community, right? It creates a sense of support, a sense of hope, there is hope to change in Malaysia. And that's why till today, from 2006 till today, I'm still continuing doing this work. It's not for the fame. It's not for there's no fortune, by the way. If people work with NGO, they will know. Yeah. But it is for the betterment of the community. It may not happen now, but I believe that things will change for the future generation of marginalized community in Malaysia. Yes, and some people will always love to ask me this question, and I specifically put this up for the younger generation. He said, "How can I help? How can I help?" Yes, simple. First, start to know about what we do, and it's very simple. Just click. Nowadays we are Google, right? And spread the word, spread the conversation. Oh, sorry, it's not scare, it's share and educate. Again, typo. You can start small, start among your family, start among your friends, start among your colleges, start a campaign. Again, it's not about just transgender people. What we are actually fighting for is diversity and inclusivity, whereby we talk about everyone is equal, whether your size, your gender, your color, or whatever you are equal, right? And support our programs in any way you can, right? And lastly, if you can't, donate to seed in any amount, or whether it's groceries that you can afford. Cause just to share with you guys, even with 10 ringgit a day, you can actually help someone, some uncle, some auntie, right, for their meal. Yeah. And thank you so much for I mean for listening to me. I know it's boring, but yes, feel free to ask me questions. And yes, to you, Derek.
Hi, Nisha. Thank you so much for that. You know, I'm so inspired by the fact that you mentioned that not only people from the community is lining up at seat, but also other people as well, especially when um, this pandemic hit. And of course, you guys are really, you, Mitch, and the rest of the team you're really advocating your tagline, which is nobody gets left behind, because COVID does not discriminate. So why should we? Correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I truly am amazed by the work and everything that you've done. Okay. So I just want to give a shout out to a couple of friends here from Australia. We have people from Australia who's here, who wants to know more about Malaysia. They are also here. Professor Sharon Randathili, who runs the social marketing at Griffith, and also Associate Professor Samir, who's also from there. And it's such an inspiring thing for all of us to hear your story today, and it's great to hear that. Yeah. And I just want to mention that if you guys have any questions, please use the Google Sheet and post your questions. However, as I mentioned before, because we are trying to create a safe and positive space, I will have to moderate some of the questions, and not all questions will get picked up. Yeah, you're okay, right, Nisha?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
good to go.
I just wanna go to the first question, Nisha.
Okay.
So somebody asked, what has been your biggest challenge, in your opinion, to get the society aware, to be involved and to be supportive when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community in this country?
Hmm. That's a good question. And I must be honest. Yeah, I think the greatest challenge that I feel is happening here, related with the community, with the public, and so on, is when we have laws like that criminalize the community, and at the same time, when our issues is being used as a political tool, and at the same time, religion is used against us. Yeah, I need to be honest. Yeah, that is the greatest challenge, because um, it in a way, if you notice the things happening here in Malaysia constantly, constantly, if it's something to do with politics, they will always drag in the issue of the community. If it's something to do with you know religion, they will always use us as an example, right? um, and this is also not just a challenge when it comes to the society in general, but it becomes also a challenge to the community themselves, because a lot of the community are also, they want to be a part of religion. They have their belief, they want to be also, whether it's whatever race, right? But when they are being told that they are not accepted, if you want to be accepted and you change yourself, then it becomes a dilemma for them. Yes.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah. Um, um, and that is something that we will all, as human beings, have to come to our own realization, and not by other people telling us what we have to believe. Yeah. And I just want to go to the next question. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the questions and picking out the questions that I want to ask because I have full control, which is a good thing. Um, Students, okay, the students, the young generation. I have one question actually from a Malaysian student in Griffith Uni in Australia, and she's pursuing, or I don't know whether it's a he or she, is pursuing a social marketing career. Social marketing career is basically using marketing principles to push the agenda of social issues and help change behavior in any social issues. Um, how do you envision students like us, yeah, fitting into an organization like SEED? Basically, what do you see in terms of expectation for these students to advocate your message?
Okay. Um, we actually worked before previously with some students, because I work at too many universities that I can't remember which one was it again. But yes, well, we actually worked once together with this young, you know, fabulous and fun students, right? And one thing that actually um, just gave all of us at Seed this idea was that we realized that myself, Mitch, and the other team, we were in a different generation. But I'm just still near to the younger ones, yeah. So So the way we see things, the way we do things, and trust me, I'm so lack in social media. I'm really like backdated. But these young people gave us so much of ideas. They opened a platform of things that we don't really thought about. And this is where I believe the younger generation can actually assist grassroots organization like us in regards of actually spreading awareness, helping us in regards of whether it's fundraising, whether it's education, awareness. And we need young people, honestly. Even now, even till today, we also managed to work together with the Canada Embassy, yeah, and they have actually funded a program for us, specifically targeting the young trans community in Malacca. And because of that support, we managed to actually gather nearly 20 trans young leaders, and they started their own fundraising in Malacca because of the opportunity, and there's hope in that. And these are young people, yeah. So I strongly believe we need young blood, we need young mindset, we need young, sometimes as I told you, I have to admit I am so bad when it comes to all these things going on in social media.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Nisha. Thank you so much. So I have a question here from Australia. Yeah. I'm just gonna make the question a little bit more less of a direct question. Yeah, I'm gonna make it a little bit indirect. So we know that we live in a society that is we are constricted, okay, by certain things. How have you strategically and intelligently worked around those constrictions? Do you have a how should I say a strategy or some sort? How did you manage to circumvent and work around those restrictions?
That's that's a very good question, and I must say I learned from my experiences. Right, I learned from my experiences. One thing that I understand, right, in humanity, in engaging with human beings, right, is that all of us, we have a sense of humanity in within of us. We have a sense of empathy. It's just how we want to make that person understand who we are, right? And sometimes, I do get some people out there who is so transphobic or homophobic, send me some, whatever messages they send me. I don't really blame them because I feel that they need more information, because a lot of people out there, they are just lack of information of for example, of what is transgender people, who are they, it's always based on the internet, YouTube, and all those stuff, but it's not one to one, and that's where it's missing. And as a trans person, I cannot expect people to accept me on the spot, right? I have to play a role to make sure that I do not scare them off, right? But at the same time, to let them see me not as a trans person, but see me as a person, right? And I always, even though earlier on I mentioned about religion, but I try not to talk about religion all the time, because I believe religion is supposed to be a personal belief. It should not be used against you, or not to be used as a power tool against you, right? And that's my stand on religion. But in our situation in Malaysia, sometimes I have to say certain things that reflect them. And sadly, it's COVID. I wish I could do live, because as I told you earlier, Derek, I miss that, face-to-face sessions and talks. But I believe that when people listened to another person who is in the shoes, of whatever issues that they face, right? Uh, then they will see the issue from a different angle. If they just read or they listen from other people, it doesn't work as so, right? So I always try to touch from the human touch, right? And to let people see that trans are just like you and me. Yeah.
So true. So true. This is why the reason why I wanted to use this platform, because I believe that education is the way to go. People are always going to fear the unknown, because the less you know about something, the less you fear about it, right?
Mm,
It's just like this misinformation that's going on out there about taking the vaccine, correct?
yes.
Yeah, people are just afraid to take the vaccine because they are not reading enough, and they just hear the negative things, but they don't read enough about the science behind it, right? So I think you are basically drawing a parallel between the vaccine take up and what you just mentioned, right? It's the same principle. Everyone, we just have to uh, go and read up more, go and do our own studies more, and to alleviate the fear of the unknown. Correct? Yeah,
Yes.
Nisha. Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that is why one thing I know for myself, I've always had this thing where I will make sure that I meet as many people as possible of more different backgrounds and religions and races than me, because I do not want to learn about just me. I want to learn about other people, and when I learn about other people, I feel so much more in tune, and I feel much humbler in that sense. Yeah, and that is something really really great. I just want to get to some more few questions. There's actually a lot of questions, but I'm actually filtering a lot of these questions. Yeah. So Nisha, I'm going to ask you a very personal question. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be
Okay.
afraid. Yeah. But I want to ask personally, and I'm just paraphrasing one of the questions or a few of the questions here together. Where do you draw strength from in overcoming the dark times in your life?
Hmm. Where do I draw my strength? Yes. I mean, every one of us will go through our dark times. And being a trans person, sometimes I personally get so immune with all those dark times in life that I actually went through those phases bit by bit. But now, as for now, I would say it's for my loved ones, right? Um, Secondly, it will be from my team, right? And of course, it's from the community. You know, let me give you an example here. It's going to be Raya, right? Tomorrow, I think, no, or the day after, right? Everyone is, talking about, oh, I can't go back to my hometown. I can't do this. All those things. I can see the fuss going on in Facebook, right? But people forget about people out there who doesn't have a family. People forget about people out there who doesn't even have a shelter. And this is where I think about the ladies at the home, for instance. They don't have family who accept them. Some of them are elderly. They don't have anyone, but yet they have the home. And I was just looking through, because we have Facebook, CTV and all stuff, right? So they were all busy preparing for Raya and everything, and those kind of things that actually push me, that gave me that strength, and that I'm doing something right for the people out there. And if I have the strength to do it, I will do it again. And I always have this mentality and this thinking that tomorrow will be a better day, and there is hope. Tomorrow will be a better day. Yeah. And I still want to say this as well. I must say, having my husband who is very supportive of the work that I do, it also helped me to give me the time, at least I can actually concentrate doing charity, helping the community and so on.
And please continue doing you, Isha. Please continue doing you, because your authenticity shines through. And um, I think what you're trying to also tell everyone here is that anytime you feel that at your low point, you've got to take a step back and appreciate all the good in your life. And that is the strength that you draw from. Yeah, Nisha, and I can see that from you and from the work. I mean, look at what you and your team has done for Seed, you know. Yeah. Okay. You did mention how your age is now. I think you and I are about the same age. Okay. Nisha. Ooh, shoot. But you see, the thing is, we all have a role to play in this world. You've got a role to play. I've got a role to play. Everybody here in the audience have a role to play, and that is how we have to own that role, and find the positive things in our life to help us through. Yeah, and I'm so glad, that you have found that. It's so inspiring. Um, we have a few more minutes left, and I just want to get through some more questions. Um, this is more of the advocacy for Seed. Yeah.
Okay.
What are the plans for Seed? Where do you see Seed moving on in terms of the future? What are it? Somebody was asking about expansion plans, maybe towards across Malaysia, and I think somebody was also asking about, yeah, building the community. Yeah, yeah.
Now, that person mentioned about expanding seed is what we are actually moving forward, right? Because why? Sadly, things are just happening in Kuala Lumpur, Kuala Lumpur, Selangor. But there is a lot of help needed out of Kuala Lumpur and Selangor, right? The support system. And that's where we're actually doing those mentoring programs to actually help or to assist those people out there. And we need people out there, the society in general, in other states, to actually open their doors towards the plight of the community, right? We also hope that with by having this what I call this, expanding the organization, we are able to reach out, to people not only in Malacca, Johor, whatsoever, but even Sabah and Sarawak. Uh, just a quick one, Derek. When the pandemic started, we had requests from trans people even in Sempurna, Sabah, and we raised fund. We raised nearly 40,000 ringgit Malaysia, and we were able to assist trans community all around Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak.
It's across the
So
sea already.
yeah,
Wow.
and there's a need, there's a need, and we need that. And I must say this: there's a lot of there's a lot of organization here and there, but a lot of them do not actually are open towards transgender people. So we need to expand that at the same time. Yes.
Mm. That is wonderful. That is wonderful, and I'm sure your team and you have a blueprint already on how to take that step by step, to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very inspired by the young leaders that you mentioned, that you guys train, because I
Mhm.
remember I was just talking to you the other day that I met one of them, and of course the thing was in Bahasa, but I found out that you just need that little seed of inspiration to inspire other people to take their own initiative, and you can create something strong, and by you doing this here today, I hope that some of the students today will be inspired by your strength, by your inspiration, and with that, I think the last thing I want to ask from you is, what advice do you have for the students here?
Okay.
What advice do you have? What do you want to tell the students here, especially these young kids?
Okay. One thing that I've noticed, what's going on right in Malaysia right now. You know, even if you look at what happened to that amazing girl who stood up against uh, rape and all those, whatever stuff, right? And she was being targeted, right? This is where I feel it's important for young people, you guys, the young students there, right? Not to be afraid to speak up, not to be afraid to stand up for what you believe in, right? Every one of you guys are leaders. You'll be surprised. You'll be very surprised to see if you were to take just a bit of step towards making an action towards what you feel. You will be amazed to see that things will change. Don't expect for bigger change. Start small. Start small. Yeah. And never ever let people to lead your life. It's your life to lead. Right? Remember that. And I want to say this also at the same time. If you have problems, if you have things that you need to talk to, do not keep it. Do not oppress it to yourself, because when you keep on oppressing to yourself, or you feel difficult to talk to someone else, you're going to be depressed, and being in that situation is not healthy, right? I advise everybody, please, if you have problems, if you have things you need to talk to, speak to people that you trust. Reach out to people. That's all.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you so much for that. I think a lot of young people need to hear that. Uh, you know, well, I'm not gonna belittle people's problems, but I do know that some students are like, oh, woe is me, pandemic. I cannot go out, cannot meet my friends. I cannot go to the mama. It's like the end of the world for them. Okay, but I also note that you know personally, for me, I had to talk two people out of depression and potential suicide for within the last 2 weeks. In fact, yeah, um, and it was not easy, but hopefully they are still alive. I think so. And what you're telling to the kids today here is to believe their own truth. Yeah, believe
Yeah.
their own truth. Educate yourselves. You know, go and find out more about things that you don't know, and find one passion and take that passion to the next level,
Mm.
right? Yeah, Nisha. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, and yeah, education is the way to go, and we must always remember that uh, society doesn't revolve just around people who look like us, and doesn't revolve around people who think like us. Society
Mm.
is everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
And the more we open our eyes to the society around us, the more we appreciate where we come from.
Exactly,
You agree?
exactly. I
Yeah.
agree. And also at the same time, don't forget self-acceptance. It's
Yes.
crucial. It's crucial. Don't be too, embedded in social construct of how man and woman is supposed to look like. Be yourself. Everybody is beautiful in their own self.
Mm,
You got to love yourself before you want to accept someone else to love you first.
You're just quoting RuPaul, right?
Huh?
You're
Oh,
quoting
no.
RuPaul. Anyway, Nisha, thank you so much. I think time is moving already,
Yeah.
because I know people want to break fast.
Yeah.
What are some last words that you want to say to everyone here before I wrap everything up?
Oh, last word. All I can say is for the young ones, everyone out there, believe in hope. Don't stop hoping. Hope is important. Hope will move on. Hope will make you move on. And yes, difficult times may happen. Always use those difficult times as an example in your future life,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But always do not give up hope.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also would like to add on to that. For anyone here who feel that your days are dark and you can't find the strength to move ahead, please remember this talk with Nisha Ayub. Okay, remember the words that she mentioned about finding strength in tribulation, and you will get through it. And when you do that, you will find yourself thriving like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Yeah. So with that, I truly want to thank you, Nisha, for being here. You have been a wonderful, wonderful guest, and you have really inspired not just everyone, but me myself. And I think you've encapsulated everything that we achieved today. Yeah, Nisha. Uh, can I just get everybody to just use your reaction button and give a round of applause to Nisha for such an inspiring talk, everyone. Yeah, I think
Thank
she's
you.
yeah, just give her all the love because she is truly inspiring. Okay. Um, so for everyone else, I know that COVID-19 is happening, especially in the Klang Valley, and we are in lockdown now. I would like to wish everybody a Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Maaf Zahir dan Batin if anything went wrong today or anywhere else. Please stay safe, everybody. Continue giving the love to Nisha and to Seed. Go and find out what Seed does. Give any support that you can during this time for Seed and the team, okay? Nisha, can you put down Seed's email address on the chat if you can? So that they can reach out if they have anything. Yeah. And if you want to, like I mentioned, Nisha has a Wikipedia page. So like I said, you're in the presence of a superstar here. I consider a superstar if you have a Wikipedia page, right? Please, yeah, go and find out from her what are the things that you can help and do for Seed and in the community around you. So with that, I want to say thank you everyone for your presence. You've been great. Nisha, I'll call you in a while and let's have a quick chat after this.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Nisha, you can put the Seed punya email.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, jap, ya.
Got it?
Where is this? Okay.
Okay, got it?
Just hang on, just hang on, just hang on. Why is it so slow? Okay. Is it there now? No. Yes. Hey.
No. Never mind, Nisha. I will email the participants the Seed punya email. No worries lah.
No?
Oh, got it. Yeah, it's
Oh,
there,
yeah.
right? It's there now. Okay. Okay. So thanks everybody. Take care. Bye. Nisha, I'll call you in a while, yeah?
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.